He can be a bit peculiar. It's an affable chat with Jack the Garden Cat.
I started here about a year ago and picked up the trade from the owner and learned all the editing techniques and things of that nature, and kind of learned as I went, but now I'm an expert, or close enough. Typically we get a new film every week unless we're premiering a film, and then we run it for 2 weeks, every night of the week. I got trailers on the Prodder, which are these 3 movies. I got James Bond, Taken 2, and Hotel Transylvania. And then before that I got the paid for ads. So this is the taper machine here. And we splice it like so. As the digital transition comes looming nearer and nearer at the end of 2013, I guess is when the drop dead date is, from what I've heard. Obviously the studios are going to make less and less prints, and so the competition for those prints is higher, and people typically are sitting on the prints longer as well. I have to at least request them 14 days in advance, but it's usually a Monday call, which is very stressful because Monday is our last show. People are always asking what we're showing, and a lot of times it's into Tuesday before I actually know what movie I'm able to get. And I was very frustrated because we wouldn't be able to get those prints. And then people thought, oh, I thought you were going to get this next week, So now I just kind of put it up there as soon. But now it's soon's turned, from 1 week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So this one has H, so that means that's the head of the film, which just lets you know which reel it is. So always when we do that, we always want to leave one of these on there so we can identify it later when we put the film away. Since he upgraded the digital sound, it's red right there, and that's why I used the discs to load it in. So that lets it know where it's at, and that way it's all lined up. And in case you're wondering, this double bar here is the sound. So that's where it normally would read if it was reading off the film itself. You gotta be able to get the prints, And if you gotta do digital to get them, then you're gonna have to do it. And that's unfortunately kind of where we're at. But for them, it sucks because they gotta buy a new screen, lease the equipment, and go through all this capital expenditure. And it's just a rough deal. I think that if the community knew the situation as far as the struggle for the small business owner to upgrade to digital and continue to be effective in the market, I think that people would come a lot more, and it doesn't take much. All we really need is 250 people a weekend. I have to change out this lens here depending on what format it is. There's 2 different formats, scope and flat. I got lucky this week, so it's the same format as last week. When I grew up here, we had the theater here and we had the bowling alley. But last year the bowling alley burned down, So there's not a lot of activities for kids, under 21 in this town anyway. That's not driving out in the woods and inebriating alcohol or whatever. And so that's what I worry about for the community. It'd be really a rough deal if there was no available entertainment for them.
He can be a bit peculiar, to the point and kind of wry. But underneath that fur exterior is a sweet home-minded guy. With coffee, catnip, and conversation, he's a smooth feline sensation. It's an affable chat with Jack the Garden Cat.